Welcome to a quick Doodlecast lesson on writing a conclusion for an argument. First thing we're looking at here is the organizer for writing a conclusion, and if you look, you'll see that the first sentence in a conclusion is going to be a restatement of the claim from the introduction, and that's something that is important. Remember that if you look here at the bottom, you can see how the visual representation of a conclusion is a right side up triangle because it's specific and then it gets general, unlike the introduction that is an upside down triangle because it starts general and gets specific with the claim. So in a conclusion, we're really starting with writing the claim again. If you take a look here at what is bracketed, this would be a restatement of a claim from an essay about whether a 4-day school week is a good idea or the traditional 5-day school week. So this one, the restatement of the claim says a 4-day school week is not a good idea for school districts because removing a day from the week would cause problems for students. So this clearly restates their stance, their side of the argument. That's their claim, and it's specific enough, but it doesn't get into the controlling idea yet. Now, getting back to this organizer, the next part is one thing from each body paragraph, and this is where you take that controlling idea and you really kind of sum up each part, and that's the topic sentences of the body paragraphs. Those are the reasons from the claim, that controlling idea. So in this place right here, this is where you about 1 or 2 sentences, maybe 3 sentences, one for each body paragraph, about what the paragraph was about. Looking back at the model, this first sentence, which is a restatement of the topic sentence of the first body paragraph, says that a 4-day work week would eliminate extracurricular activities. That's what the first body paragraph would be about. The second body paragraph would be about how it's not a good idea to save money because there are better alternatives to do that. That would be the second body paragraph, and then the third body paragraph would be about how it would leave students home by themselves for a full day. Which all three things were mentioned earlier, but it's just kind of like a recap. That's where that recap of the conclusion comes in. Finally, the last part of writing a conclusion is leaving the reader something about the topic to think about, and this is probably one of the hardest parts about writing a conclusion. It's kind of like the hook in an introduction. It really takes good writing to keep on topic, but also give that reader something to consider, something to think about, something to walk away with after reading your paper. It can also be a place where you put a call to action, where you're telling the reader kind of to do something. It's that last punch, really, for your claim and your side of the argument. Here's an example from the model. School administrators should realize that 5-day school weeks have been working for years. There's no point trying to fix something that is not broken. So in this model, it kind of sums up the whole argument, but also gives a reader something to walk away with, thinking, obviously it's been working, so why are there these new things calling for a 4-day school week? So it's successful in that way. It's definitely not the best, but it's also successful. Here, this part is just some tips about that last sentence. Having it be a call for action, or here, in this part, it talks about leaving readers with an understanding of why your argument is important in a broader context, or how it can be applied to a larger concept. So really, why is this argument important? Why is your claim important? Why is your stance important? And that's really where that last sentence comes in. This is a good page about things to always do, things to never do. I really like things to always do, provide a sense of closure. things to never do, which is really important. I don't know if it's in here, but don't introduce new topics, obviously. This one's great. Don't use overused phrases. Don't apologize, like, although I do not have all the answers. Announce what you have written in the body of the essay. That's we are summing that up, but it's just trying to not be redundant. So, and that's really what's hard about writing a conclusion, is summing it up without being redundant. Finally, I just wanted to end with some advice from some universities. University of Purdue, the preacher's maxim: tell them what you're going to tell them. Tell what you're going to tell them, which is the introduction. Tell them, the body, and tell them what you told them, conclusion. So that kind of sums up what a paper is supposed to look like. This one over here, the University of Maryland, your conclusion should state your conviction strongly. Review your main points. Tell your audience what action you would like them to take. Address, resolve the main points from introduction. So again, resolve, that's a good word for it. And then finally, from Harvard, avoid phrases like in conclusion, to conclude, in summary, to sum up. It's just kind of obvious that this is your last paragraph, so you don't really need those words. It kind of cheapens what you have. So that's it for writing a conclusion in argument writing. The end.
Made with Doodlecast Pro.